Hey YouTube, it's Aaron619 coming back at you here with another video. This is actually going to be another response video from my YouTube brother Jason, aka MrFisherbike. He's got a contest going on where he wanted us to talk about our top 3 or 5 favorite cards that have memories to them. And I got to tell you, that's just an absolute fantastic contest. Thank you for putting that on, Jason. That's just wonderful, man. I hope a lot of people get involved with it. So let me start this video off by saying, first of all, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you at the Nationals, Jason. Just an incredible time, man, we had. That was my first Nationals, and I'll never forget it, man. I'm going to be going to the one in 2018. I hope that you get a chance to go to it as well, so we can just have laughs and chop it up again, man. So, but moving right along, going to talk about 3 cards that have significant memories, and the first card I'm going to show you is no surprise. I've showed this card in other videos, but it just means so much to me. It brings back a lot of memories dealing with my family, my parents, and that first card is going to be this 1953 Satchel Paige. This card means everything to me, Jason, for so many reasons, but I'll start off with a memory that comes to mind is Sunday dinner. We used to sit down with all of us, my parents, cousins, relatives. We used to sit down at a table and have dinner on a Sunday, and we used to talk about baseball around the table. We used to talk about, who's the greatest pitcher, and of course, there was no winning with my dad, man. He was such a big time Satchel Paige admirer. He, spent a lot of time researching and collecting things of the Negro League, artifacts and autographs, and my mom was the same way as well. And I remember one day, one of my brothers came to visit, and we had dinner. And my brother sparked the conversation up and asked, who the greatest pitcher was. And of course, my dad would say, boy, you already know who the greatest pitcher is. It's Satchel Paige. But what made it so special, man, is you can tell when somebody's passionate about somebody. It's the way they talk. It's the way they're energetic when they talk about that person. His body language would come off as if he would hang out with Satchel Paige. And I remember him telling us one story that he had went to a game one time, and he said that the outfielders ran out into the field, and Satchel Paige was standing there, and he turned around and looked into the outfield and told everybody to sit down. He said there won't be anybody hitting today. And he said, sure enough, Satchel Paige, just struck everybody out. He pitched a no-hitter that day. He said that was one of the greatest moments in his life that he experienced that. But my dad said that, Satchel Paige, hands down, was the greatest pitcher. He just had such control over his pitching and how he threw the ball. I mean, he said it just was incredible. So when I look at that card, those are the memories that I think about when I see this card right here. It's just an absolute incredible card. But not only that, even further, when I think back to those times with all the segregation going on and all that time, it was absolutely unheard of that you would see a black person's face on a card, let alone for the world to see. And this card right here is just an absolute reminder of just how far we've come as a nation. Like I said, we didn't have much back then, but we had baseball, and baseball was a way for us to escape the oppressions that were going on back then. And here's a fine example of a bird that his wings were just too bright, it was inevitable. And boy, did he got into the majors. It may have been at a late age, but he got in there and he was able to showcase some of his talents. And it's just absolutely an incredible card. And that card right there means everything to me. So that's number 1. Number 2, it's going to be Jim Gilliam, best known as Junior Gilliam. But again, when I see this card right here, This is just an incredible card from 1953. That's his actual rookie card. And why that card means so much to me, Jason, is because it brings memories back, to my mother. She absolutely loved this guy. She would talk about this guy like if he was, her boyfriend. And she would tease sometime my dad, and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna talk about my boyfriend, Jim Gilliam." But she thought that this guy was absolutely fantastic, and she thought that he was the best player that she had ever seen. And she said he would walk the walk and talk the talk. She said that when she used to go to Negro League games and she would watch him play, the athleticism that he put on display, she said was incredible. So this card brings back memories of conversations with my mom, laughing and just talking baseball. So that's just a fantastic card, and that's another one that I will always cherish. And then number three, we're going to do something different here. Number three, this is a really special card right here. 1989 Upper Deck card, not because of how significant it is in the hobby. Because to tell you the truth, I don't collect Ken Griffey Jr. But why it's so significant now and the memories that it brings with it, because that's the first card that my wife purchased to me. She bought that for me on I believe it was my birthday. She bought that on, and the thing is with our wives, man, they put up with all our bullshit, and they put up with us collecting and putting effort and time and money into this hobby. And my wife that day just absolutely surprised me. She went out and bought that card. It's not a cheap card. It's a very pricey card in that grade by Beckett, and she surprised me with it. So I'll never forget that. Every time I look at that card, I think about that my wife took her time out of her day and went out and bought me that card because she knows that I'm very passionate about the hobby. So and that's that with that, man. So those are my three cards right there that bring those memories. Jason, I hope that works for you, brother. Again, great contest, really love it. And I hope you make it out to the 2018 Nationals, brother, so we can chop it up, man. And I'm going to leave it on that note, guys. So go out. If you're not subbed to Jason, MrFisherbike, give this fine gentleman a sub. Participate in the contest. I would love to see more videos of cards that have memories to them. I think it's wonderful, man. That's what collecting's all about. So I'll leave it on that note, guys. So until the next video, as always, stay blessed. And I'll talk to YouTubers later. Bye.